Welcome back to the New Earth Project Wednesday live broadcast. Today we're talking about a very popular topic, astral projection, lucid dreaming, and what was the last one? Lucid and remote viewing. And make sure before we start getting into things, make sure you follow us on our social medias if you haven't already, and join our Telegram and Discord communities. And we're switching things up a little bit here tonight. Tonight we're going to be introducing a new host. Like we're having a new host come up and host a new live show. Stephanie Forlini, take it right ahead.
Hi, thanks so much, Sunny. I'm excited to be kind of discussing astral travel, remote viewing, and lucid dreaming with you guys. This is something I talk about a lot on my TikTok channel, and I post a lot of things on my Instagram story and stuff too about it. So, astral travel, if anybody doesn't know kind of what astral travel is, it's essentially when your consciousness separates from your physical body while you're in like a meditative state or some kind of a trance, typically is how it's done. And the astral realm, it kind of ties in with lucid dreaming. The astral realm is where your body would be going when you are astral traveling out of your body, I guess. And there's different kind of levels to it almost. And that kind of ties into lucid dreaming, because lucid dreaming is like being aware that you're in a dream, like it's very vivid, you're like there, but you don't necessarily feel your body leaving. Astral projection and like astral travel, it's like very kind of tied with like that feeling and that sensation of leaving your body. And when we astral travel, I actually had a series too. I got to talk to Dr. Scott Taylor from the Monroe Institute. He was the president of the consciousness studies and everything that they did there. And he had talked about like being attached by a cord. So a lot of people are kind of afraid, like when we astral travel, like, are we gonna, lose ourselves? Are we not going to be able to find our way back? And he was like, the answer is no. So like, you're always connected by the silver cord. Like you're always able to kind of go back to your body. And astral traveling for me is something that I'm somehow, somewhy very apt in, because I have done it since I was a kid, and like not intentionally. Like when I was a kid, I used to astral project all the time. Like most nights I would astral project and I wouldn't even know what that was. Like I would wake up and think I was like awake and like have a whole last day, and then I would wake up again for school and I was like, no. So it's kind of a lot, and it's something that we can get ourselves to do. And essentially what I found is that like by healing our subconscious and like healing things that kind of trigger us and make us reactive and emotional, like from wounds and everything, everything kind of ties in. We talked about that a couple weeks ago. But when you start healing that and you start addressing that and kind of like, I don't know, healing yourself, it kind of taps back in a sense, because it's like the astral realm is entirely working with your subconscious mind. So it makes sense that it kind of needs to be healed in order to navigate, in order to, be able to do this stuff. So, yeah, in that sense, it's a lot about like being able to kind of leave, and you're not bound to the time space dimension. Like you're not bound to just like Earth. You're not bound. Like you can go and do pretty much whatever. There's really not really a limit like that. There's a whole bunch of caveats there, but lucid dreaming is like more in the dream world too. You're not feeling that like outward sensation. Like you're aware that you're in the dream. And then sometimes you're able to control it. There's like different levels of lucid dreaming where you're like very aware that it's going on. And then sometimes people can, be like, oh, I want to just completely change the scene. Now I'm at school, or something like that. And then remote viewing is more conscious. It's like while you're kind of awake, sometimes there's like lucidity, there's some like sensory deprivation. Sometimes they do that, but there's different levels. And essentially it's like peering into a location where you are not. Like I could, remote view into like Rome's house right now and be like, nice plant you got there. So I could just kind of like remote view and, see different things and get different messages and information, it kind of comes differently for a lot of different people, and there's different skill sets to it. So yeah, Rome, do you have any insight to add for any of these topics?
I don't think your mic's working, Rome.
There. Can you hear me now?
Yep. Perfect.
There we
Yes.
are. Hello. Thank you. Hi. Thank you. Namaste. I've had experience with remote view before. The first time it happened to me, I didn't really know what to expect. I was going through my spiritual awakening. I was fresh out of the box, probably a week or so. And I just had started like having day visions, like daydreams, like, but they were, it was like fuzzing out, but I was having these daydreams. And then I didn't know till later, till I talked to someone that I was actually seeing what they were actually doing. Right. So that put two and two together for me. And then I had an opportunity later to actually do a remote view, but like a scheduled or a practice area where someone went to a room in a house and told me to describe it, and I sat my focus and meditation and pinpoint accuracy. Colors described everything. So at that point, I mean, I knew it was possible. I didn't know exactly the process of how I got there or what was the contingencies, everything. And then there was a time that I just lost interest with it, or it wasn't really resonating with me. And then later I had rediscovered it again. Now, it takes me a lot of focus in a very meditated state, but it is, it's almost, for me, it's almost like a 10-15 second lag in time. And I don't know, Steph, if you experienced that or not, or if anybody else does, but for me, it's not, because for some people it's right on point, and some, like for me, it's just it's like a delayed video. How does that work for you?
So for me personally, I actually have decent accuracy with like the location, but my time's even more off than that, actually. Like I could definitely peer in like days or like years times difference. Like I have to like get very specific. It's like a whole thing, I guess, that I have to kind of correct. I don't know why it's like that for me. I can definitely kind of pinpoint it like that, but sometimes I'll be able to describe like parts of it, or it'll be like a different time period of it or something like that. I don't know why.
Well, I'm interested to hear what everyone else has to say if it's similar, because I don't think us as a group, I don't think we ever discussed this topic, and that's very
I don't think we have either. I'm really excited to hear everybody's insight on that. I've tried to remote view into like past situations. I one time had a woman like ask me, she was like, how did my first ex-husband die? And I was like, that okay, my tarot cards aren't going to tell me that. So I mean, they could, I guess, but it's a lot of, I was like, I want to see it, so I tried remote viewing it and I described exactly what I had seen, and she was like, oh my God, that's exactly what happened. And she like pieced it together, and I was like, that's horrifying. So I've been able to like go back in time too. It's like I have trouble in the here and now. Like if I were to like go to your house right now, like in my mind, I probably wouldn't be able to get the time right. Yeah. So Campton, do you have any insight stories to add?
Sure. Yeah. So I guess just the metaphysics of it all is what fascinates me the most, and activating these things and utilizing them. So essentially quantum physics and Buddhism and Hinduism and all these occultic practices, they agree. We're all one, and that there's dimensions to our reality, dimensions of our consciousness, and it's on a spectrum, both emotional and visible, and you can sense it all. So essentially, the metaphysical aspect of our consciousness that activates, or not that activates, but that experiences the astral realm, or any other thing under dream yoga, which is the practice. What that is Some of that is part of the electromagnetic spectrum, so part of light. In fact, everything is light, everything is energy, everything is intelligence and information. And we get here because we're an individuation of infinity, and around that accumulates energy and various densities of our reality. So when we're astral projecting specifically, the same energy that's wiggling my fingers and allowing me to think and perceive an identity is the same energy that will collect into our spine and project out of our third eye, or whatever chakra you choose. And that's where it gets advanced and needlessly complex. But the point is that part of your electricity and consciousness is collecting and concentrating and going somewhere else physically. And there is a spectrum of this physicality right before it fades off into eternal nothingness, and now where it is vibrating into something, right? And color is just a little bit faster than heat on the electromagnetic spectrum. So think about that. Like heat and color, they're similar. They're the same thing. They're just on the spectrum just a little bit apart. So with astral projection and all these abilities and that metaphysics in mind, we can develop the practices. We can understand the practices and strategies to be able to have the subjective experience of these things. And what we're going to endure along this journey is the fact that we are deviating our belief system from what the majority of the population thinks about the nature of consciousness and what's possible. So when you're doing this, you're having to come to your own subjective realizations and incorporate those things, regardless of what humanity thinks about. Again, the nature of consciousness and what's possible. So when you're meditating and when you're trying to go out of your body, you realize what you're doing here for the context of your life and everything that is. You're saying, I am not my body. You're saying that I should not be as attached to this. You're saying that death is really just an illusion. The body will fall away, but my spirit, my desire, my inclination to create will carry on and embody the next best guess that I have in terms of how to dwell within in infinity or eternity, which is right now this 95 to 115 year shot at existence as this human being. So more about the practice, I guess, to round out the thought and not eat too much of the air up. The practice would be, again, realizing and accepting these things, accepting that death is transitory, that it's meaningful, it's good in a way, right? You know, you're not reading the same book forever, and that awkward moment that happened, it dies with you. It never happened, and you get to have a new life with maybe less awkward moments. I don't know, with whatever you learn, even though they're good for learning, whatever. So what you're doing here is you're activating your second vision, right? We're so used to looking out through our eyes, activating those parts of our nervous system, right? The nervous system is what conducts the electrical aspect of our consciousness. It's what floods the synapses that allow us to then perceive an identity or a cohesive story within the third dimension, which is our life in the context of our chemical and physical unfolding. So what we're working with here is the fact that our energy just jumps to whatever the thickest chords are in our nervous system. So your identity is very thick and sprawling across your entire body. So that's why it's hard to change ourselves, because what we're fighting against when we're trying to change ourselves is the strength of neurology that is developed under unconscious repetition. So the moment we start to consciously repeat things, the more conscious we're going to have to become of the unconscious automatic programs that will just populate in our mind, and without any consciousness we will identify with that and carry it on. We won't atrophy the synaptic structure of a past machination or perception of reality. So we literally need to instill mindfulness and the ability to perceive these past machinations to be able to cultivate strong enough neurology within the logic that we hold deep within. So again, the practice to astral project and dream and all of that, I know that it may not seem where the connect is here yet, but when you're meditating, you're literally practicing the art of manipulating your consciousness to do what you want it to do, right? One of the main causes of anxiety and depression is, again, the thicker synapses that we talked about. Your consciousness is stuck there because we haven't thought outside of that enough and disidentified with it, right? You have to say that's not me, and then consciously repeat a logic to be able to host your consciousness there. So what we're doing with meditation is doing that over and over and over again until we loosen the same energy that's flooding our nervous system from it, and able to project that outwards, which requires an immense amount of concentration. Because think about what that energy is doing right now. Part of that energy is stimulating the part of your nervous system that keeps your heart going. Part of that is managing all of your subconscious data and everything like that, and your metabolism, right? It's activating and enlivening your body. So when we're meditating, we have to continually remind ourselves, literally, over and over again, that we are a light body hosting this body, and that all of our troubles and worries and woes will populate our mind until we can cultivate enough synaptic and electromagnetic habit structures to be able to do those things effortlessly. And I guess if you wanted me to comment on remote viewing and dreaming specifically, I can, and then I'll shut up. So there's many types of dreams. There's a dream where none of it makes sense and it doesn't matter. There are dreams where none of it makes sense and it does matter, and you think about it later and you can extrapolate that into, emotions deep down that need subconscious working on, or patterns in reality that are upgrading, right? Because dreams, I guess what we call dreams, a non-lucid dream is your consciousness flying all around your subconsciousness, or subconscious. Sorry, I'm probably just smashing words here. But going into all that data that your conscious mind isn't actively trying to fight anymore, because when you're awake, you can fight all the anxieties, you can stuff everything down and remain in denial. But when you relax your consciousness, it's going to go into the parts of you that need to heal the most, that need to be understood and wired the most, and that's what the deal is with dreams. And then I guess remote viewing is another place on that spectrum of electromagnetic consciousness / information, right? You're going to a place and your light body is interpreting information, and two different light bodies can interpret the same thing differently, right? Your Akashic records could be like this expensive library. My Akashic records might be like a laptop or something. I don't know. It can be interpreted the same way, or a different way, but the information is the same. So just thoughts in the air. I don't know where to stop, so I'm just going to let the next person go.
Nice thoughts. That definitely ties into what you just said about controlled remote viewing too. Same information to different people. That's why controlled remote viewing was kind of introduced, where it's this process of like bypassing your conscious mind, and it's kind of just like the art of like deciphering the scribbles on a piece of paper that like you do, and you have to like make your own code, or you use a code, and like it's a really intricate process. So that is accurate too, in that sense of like the same thing could just be, somebody's like, no, it's a library, no, it's a laptop, but it's like the same. So yeah. And Jake, any insight here?
Yeah, thank you for giving me the floor to speak. So I'll start off first with astral projection. So me personally, I have not astral projected, but I have come very close. But as you explained earlier, astral projection is like the separation of your physical body and your light body. So like through your third eye or your crown, or however your soul leaves your body. I think it's the third eye, but so I've had close encounters with astral projection. So I was medicated, and I was just sitting there meditating, and like I could feel like my soul like moving like up, like out of my body. It was the weirdest thing. And the reason that it didn't happen is because I was afraid to let it happen. And I think that's like the main ingredient into astral projecting, is like you have to go into it with the intention that you want to actually do it. Like you can't just sit around and be like, oh well, like maybe, like if it happens, maybe. Like no, you have to like want it. You have to want to do it. And if you're sitting there like I was, like not knowing, it's just not going to happen. Like your gods or whoever, you just won't allow. It just won't be allowed because you're afraid. You're in that fear state. But that's when I have to overcome my fears eventually at some point and try to astral project, because I think that'd be really cool. Because I've heard many stories of people actually astral projecting, and I'm just like that's a life-changing experience. Like once you astral project, like I feel like your life is just changed. Like you're forever changed. Like in the movie Doctor Strange, like he was a very egoic doctor. You know, he broke his fingers. Okay, then he went to somewhere in the Middle East or wherever he went, and then he was metaphysically healed. Like he didn't believe he could rewire his fingers or anything like that. But the sacred one, or the old one, or the ancient one, I think that's her name, the ancient one. She did some like little like some G.I. Joe trick or something, and then she put him in the astral realm. But I thought that movie's really cool. If you want to learn anything about astral projection, I'd definitely go check out Doctor Strange, because it has a lot of insight into astral projecting in that movie. So lucid dreaming, I tend to lucidly dream a lot, but it's not to the point where I can like control my dreams. It's usually just I'm in a dream, and then they're so like vivid. I would say they're more vivid dreams than lucid, because I'm in the dream and I'm feeling everything, you know, feeling all these emotions and doing me or whatever. And then like, I feel like a lucid dream is where you're able to know you're in the dream. I need to set up some like type of, I've heard on your phone, you could do like a voice memo, and you could set it to an alarm clock. So like at like 4 a.m., you could have your phone or your speaker or whatever, and you could say your voice memo, like you're in a dream. And that's what my one friend did to actually astral project, which I thought was pretty neat. So I mainly just have lucid or vivid dreams instead of lucid dreams. There was a very cool movie that I watched explaining like lucid dreaming. They would like put people to sleep and then travel into their mind, like into their dream somehow, and they would travel into their dream, in their dream, and they use the little spinners. I think, to like the spinners. If it was spinning, it meant you were still in the dream because it would infinitely spin, and if it would stop, it mean like you're in reality. I'm pretty sure. So I thought that movie was cool. I forget the name of it though. And then last but not least, we'll talk about remote viewing. For me, I've had like some personal encounters with remote viewing. It's nothing that I just sat down and physically forced myself to remote view. But at the time, I was just going to bed or whatever, and it was so weird. My soul, I just was flying around. I was flying around my hometown. Like I was literally just flying around, and then it just stopped, and then I woke up. It was the craziest thing. I was like, what am I doing right now? I'm over my friend's house. I'm flying around, you know. I was like, what am I doing? And then like I think it was like a month later, Sonny told me that was called remote viewing. I was like, oh my goodness. Like I think I was a bird. I think I remote viewed into a bird. So I was like flying around, like flapping, it felt like, but I don't know. And then I've also had very like intuitive feelings with like some people. You can just like feel like it's not like really remote viewing like visually, but like it's like you're there in a sense, like, but you're not. Like remote viewing as in physically, like not physically, just feeling their energies in a way. It's nothing like physical. I just kind of feel it. But that's all I got. Stephanie, thank you for allowing me to share my thoughts.
Thank you for sharing them. A couple thoughts on your thoughts, actually. So that dream is you as a bird. That honestly could have been you like in the back half of like a dream going into like an astral going back into your body. Because if you literally just woke up like that, like I've had astral projections like that where I'm literally like flying through the city. Like that's really? Like your brain, like your subconscious mind, and going off of like healing the fears and everything, like your subconscious mind literally rules all of the astral. Like when you're out there, like the first thing that you think of, even if it's not like I want to do this, if you're like, wow, I could really eat, like you'll be pulled into the kitchen. That's what happened to me. Awesome. So like it really is like it's literally right what's happening in your brain. So that's why healing and letting go of those fears are so important, And astral projecting, you guys mentioned like the third eye or crown chakra. It's like super important to leave from like the top chakras too. When I do it, it feels like, for me, it feels like it's my crown chakra, because I feel like I'm like almost levitated. I don't know if that makes sense. And like I can feel like the last part connected is the top of my head. So yeah, and then that was interesting that you also brought up Doctor Strange, because that's like the third time in the past couple months I've been hearing that. I still haven't seen it.
You haven't seen Doctor Strange?
I haven't seen Doctor Strange. No.
Don't they have a new one coming out soon?
What'd you say?
No way.
Don't they have a new one coming out soon?
Yeah, there's like a Doctor Strange 2 or whatever coming out, I think this year, I think, something like that.
That's tight.
How often do you normally astral project?
I'd probably say like 2 times a month, maybe. Like I'm not like avidly going into it. These are often like, they happen to me. They genuinely happen like to me. Like
you don't try to sit down and do it.
No, like if sometimes like I'll just be meditating and my body will like zip out, or like I'm falling asleep, my body will just like kind of zip out, and like it usually corresponds with a message. Like I almost always find a message from the astral projection, which is like a weird way, I guess, my guides like to communicate with me. It's like a fun game we play. But that movie, by the way, I think you were mentioning, it's Inception, maybe the one where they go into people's dreams. Yeah,
where they go through the dreams, in the dreams. Yeah, that movie is so crazy.
Tight. Yeah, it's a good movie. Thank you for sharing. And Sunny, got some insight here?
I do have some insight. So yeah, it's been awesome hearing everybody talk about all their different experiences with that and stuff. And I want to talk about dreams a little bit. What are dreams? Oh, they're very interesting. It can be scary too, you know. But dreams could show us so many different things that we can't see whenever we're conscious. Like, for example, like for having a repeated dream, like we're having a recurring dream, that's a big indicator right there of a subconscious pattern that has been protruding that you may or may not be consciously aware of. And the great thing about dreams is like it's our entire subconscious mind is just being run through these dreams. So we get to peer in and see all these different things that we can't see whenever we're conscious. And so we can learn so many different lessons through our dreams. Also, our dreams can be very predictive as well, which is super, super interesting. There's this I had this dream like a year and a half, like about a year ago, where I had this dream where I was taking this girl to prom, and I ended up actually taking this girl to prom. Like when I remember I had that dream, I was like, oh, what the fuck? So I'm not sure. I'm not educated on the whole processes of the predictive dreams and things like that. But there's so many instances of people like having dreams, including myself, and then the next day that thing will happen. And so that's a very interesting thing. And then I want to go back to the subconscious pattern of the dreams too. I'm not a huge dream interpreter, but if you're having like recurring dreams if you're having a recurring dream, I would definitely look into it and research into it. Or if you think you like found the sign, like there was a super vivid sign in your dream that was like, this really just stood out to you and you remembered it when you wake up and you remembered it so vividly, I would definitely talk to a dream interpreter or just research it a bit, as you can definitely get so much insight into your life and so many different things that help fix things and help move things around in your life.
Super true. Thanks for the insight there, Sunny. Definitely, I had a point to mention. I forgot to write it down because I was thinking about it. But the precognition in the dreams, like how it works. A lot of times, people that end up having like precognition, like seeing the future in your dreams, and then like it comes true later or something. It happens. Precognition happens most in the dream state because that's like the least inhibitions we have up. Like we are not like having that fear fear wall blocking out the subconscious information. Like we are literally seeing it and experiencing it, and then when it happens, you're like, wait, what? So it's interesting too. That can also account for like feelings of deja vu, like a dream like that you had forgotten that you had asked this girl to prom, and then like you're like, oh wait. So if you didn't remember the dream, it could have come up as like deja vu. So love that. Thanks for joining as well, Flow Network. We were excited to see you guys. And yeah, I saw you guys doing this, and I was like, however you guys want to kind of go, if you each have insight, or whoever wants to go first, have at it. Thanks for joining.
Sure. Thanks for having us. We were kind of both came on and we're like, we don't have anything to say.
Yeah, I mean, dreams.
We're learning here.
Yes, we're learning.
That's honesty.
I don't have much in the way of dreams, and I'm trying to figure out. I remember having these kinds of things, and I'm realizing, listening to what you're talking about, I've been on the planet a long time. So I remember there was stages where I would have, especially when I met Sharon, when I was in a different relationship at the time. So at night we'd have dreams, and we'd share dreams back and forth where we were Vikings killing people. We were always killing people, or they were killing us. And we were always in shit in periods of history. Because I'm thinking that's about all I can remember. Because the master that I've studied with, and my interpretation of what he's always saying was with dreams. This is a dream that we're having right now. So the idea is, like, if you're inclined to actually follow it at night, but the idea is to be conscious now and then at night, and then just be conscious all the time. So then I was doing my little fingers because I was doing it with Sarah. I was just realizing that, like, when I break through a threshold, whatever it is, some excitement threshold, immediately, instantaneously, it's going to trigger a barrier associated at the bottom, whether I'm in a dream or not. And when I think it was Sunny was saying it, and then you were saying it as well, Stephanie, I thought, oh, right, they're doing in the dream state what it is I'm been kind of doing as a habit in this state, whatever we want to call this state, the kind of dream state. And then the other one, astral projection, I don't even know what the hell we're talking about.
We quickly Google.
Yeah, come on, Tim. You've had to have some experience. All your meditations with astral projection. I know you have.
That's what I said to him, because when we first started hanging out, we both loved Carlos Castaneda. I don't know if any of you guys know who Carlos Castaneda is, but read all his books, and you have as well. So we really resonated on that level. And he talks about, like, he didn't use that language of astral project, like, you're
so maybe
the bird.
that's where I have
and
the
then
challenge.
You did say, like, you were the bird. You were.
I've had situations where I didn't know that's called astral projection. So I'm up in a tree and I can see things, or I have experiences where I'm in a different location and I get some sense of, wow, that was wild. I was that bear, or whatever the case may be. So I don't know what you call that. But yeah, my experience just in the waking day is fairly busy. I see a lot of things moving around. I hear a lot of voices. I get direction all the time. And at night, I just try to sleep so I can actually get some rest and try and do it again the next day. I mean, I realize there are dreams and such that'll happen all the time, but I've never pursued it. It's just been one of those amazing things. And I know you dream like crazy, but that's kind of my bit. And so I was trying to do homework. Oh my God, what are we talking about? So I got in class, I got a low score on dreams and astral projection. I remember that.
Well, thanks for sharing.
Thanks for sharing,
Tim. I dream like every night, and they're always vivid. I've had precognition dreams. I might have had a couple dreams that are, what do you call them? The ones we're talking about today. The
astral projections?
No, what
lucid
dreaming. Thank you. Lucid dreaming. I've had maybe that a couple of times. It's interesting because I love dreams. I love dream interpretation. I've been freaked out from having dreams that came true the next day. But like you said, the more you're just like, well, this is normal. The less freaked out I am about it. But my practice nowadays is more about being in my body. I didn't realize how much of my life I was living out of my body. I remember seeing an intuitive years ago. And I didn't even know why. I just was like, I'm supposed to be here. So I came and saw her, and she's like, you just left your body. And I was like, what do you mean I just left my body? What are you talking about? How do you know I left my body? Where did I go? So my practice is definitely more these days. I read about that long time ago, astral projection and that kind of stuff. And that's cool. And I've done a lot of like plant medicine ceremonies and things where for sure I was all over the place. And I'm like, I have been the last, past few years, just really being in my body. And that's been more of a priority for me because I could easily get lost in all of it. So my practice is embodying and just being as conscious as possible while I'm awake in this dream-like space.
Love it. Thank you guys both so much for sharing that. Yes, you definitely have different experiences like with it. Like we had mentioned kind of in the beginning too, there's like different layers of everything, like different degrees of things too. So it's like you definitely have touched it in different ways. And it's just like actually really funny that you say that, Sarah, because I actually got a Reiki session done today, and she was telling me like I need to be so much more grounded, and I was like, I'm literally trying the best that I can. Like I am doing things to ground, and she was like, I can just feel your energy like up and out here, like I gotta root you. So it's just kind of funny that you mentioned that, because I resonate on that. So that's my new movement here.
Yeah, part of a good chunk of my work, and I was just with 2 clients today, so I can see them leaving their body, and it's this wispy thing going out. And there are different stages, and I go, so what are you experiencing? So I have them come back into their feet. I said, so just tell me how your feet are feeling. And so they'll experience their feet, and they'll whip back into their body. In a lot of cases, it's actually shocking for them, and they're looking at me, what the hell just happened? I said, well, you're up and about.
You've been huge for that with me as well, because you can see I've left my body. You're not in your body, and it's so cool to have somebody who's so sensitive be here for me to witness. Like, oh my God, yeah. Like, what percentage of me is in my body right now? 2%. Well, where in the hell the rest of me is there? And the journey of going into the body, like that's why we can get lost, because when we bring our whole self into our body, we start to experience different traumas that we've had,
which are stored in the
soft tissue. So that's actually the work, is to come into the body. And the more we've been working with you and focusing on the feet and everything, now I can have the experience while I'm sleeping. I can feel my feet chakras, if there are such a thing, but I can actually feel my energy, and this beautiful energy coming through my feet, grounding into the earth while I'm like just about to go to sleep, or even sometimes like in the middle of a dream or something. And I love that experience, to just be so aware and to feel that connection to the earth, like in that space. So thanks, Tim.
Well, yeah.
Thanks and not.
I had the shit scared out of me by my mentor when I first got involved with it. So I was floating all over the place, and he was really clear. For me, that wasn't good. Like because it's just, you get all kind of caught up in all kinds of other things. So his point always, and it's just been a simple thing from then on, and that's been about 20 years. It's just be present, in my hara or at a lower, and then eventually integrate the whole. So it's the whole. So I find these are very, very fun and cool conversations, because it sounds very exciting.
It's definitely something for sure. It's a time that there's different. I think you guys are definitely right in that, where it's like so easy to get lost in these things though too, where it's like kind of hard to come back into yourself and like ground yourself. And like you said, lots of us too, I feel like, are spending lots of time not present in our bodies, and we're not even aware of it. Like we're literally not even aware of it. So that's definitely a good focal point too, for like being in your body and like being able to have that duality, I guess, of like, the astral projection or, grounding. Sunny, I didn't know if you wanted to take back over here. Thank you guys for letting me host.
You did a great job, Stephanie. That was fantastic. Fantastic job hosting. Stellar job.
Better person to host
Bravo.
tonight.
Bravo. But Yeah, just going back to what Tim was saying, how this is like a dream, like this is the dream state. Like this is literally a dream, like what we're experiencing right now. This is a dream. And yeah, I just wanted to bring that back up again. I thought that was super cool. But but yeah, we're gonna go into a little meditation here. Make sure before we get into the meditation, make sure you follow all our social medias. Description down below, you'll find a collection of all of our social medias. Give us a follow on all of them. We'll see you over there. It's a great time. We're having a great vibes over there. And be sure to join our Telegram or Discord communities down below. And let's get right into this meditation. Just start by relaxing your shoulders a little bit. Getting into the most relaxed position, whether that be lying down, sitting down, standing, maybe doing a handstand, whatever you're most comfortable with. Start by letting out a big sigh. Start bringing awareness to your breath. Pay close attention to the air going in and out of your lungs. Feel your lungs expanding with every breath you take. And with every breath, feel your eyelids relaxing, your forehead, shoulders, your arms and legs and fingers and toes. And allow yourself to enter a more relaxed state. Feel the warmth of this present moment. And remember, you are here now in this body. Feel the blood flowing through your veins. Your heart beating. The air moving in and out of your lungs. And now that you're more grounded into your body, imagine a white and rainbow ball of light levitating just above your crown. Spinning down into your crown and into your third eye. And into your throat. Turning on and activating your DNA. And as it moves into your heart, feel your upper chakras connecting with your heart. And feel the love emanating from your heart. Now this ball of light is slowly moving down into your solar plexus. Spinning and healing all your chakra centers. And allow yourself to feel it move down into your sacral. And finally into your root. Connecting all the chakra points of your body. Feel this energy. It's emanating all the way from your crown down through the rest of your chakras and into your root and down through the earth, connecting with Gaia. Now I would like for you to imagine your vision of new earth, of the new world, your vision of 5D earth, whatever you like to call it. What do you see when you hear those words, new earth? What do you feel? Focus on the emotion that it brings to you. Allow yourself to feel that emotion within your heart. Laughing, playing, singing around a campfire, uniting with your soul family, your star family, living in pure bliss. Focus on that emotion. Allow yourself to feel it. Allow that emotion to wrap around you like a warm blanket. And remember, you can always return here. You can always return to the new earth frequency to be basked in its love, joy, and hope. And when you feel called to, you can open your eyes. Thanks for coming to the live stream tonight, everybody in the audience. And remember to check out newearthproject.info for all of our socials and to join our Telegram and Discord communities. We will see you next Wednesday. Peace. Nice.